All right, guys, we're going to be talking about wars in Greece today, particularly the Persian War. All right, this is an awesome video by John Green that goes over not only the Persians in the beginning and how they were, but it also goes into the Greeks. It talks about the Persian War, Greek city-states, the cultural advance of Athens, and then the Peloponnesian War. So definitely go back and watch that, okay? All right. So the Persians and the Greeks come into conflict with each other. We talked about last week how Greeks had to colonize outside of Greece because of overpopulation and lack of arable land. So when they colonize outside of Greece, over here in Asia Minor, they come into conflict with the Persian Empire. Because under Darius, the Persian Empire expands from all the way up here in Asia Minor to over here to the Indus River Valley under Darius the First, the son of Cyrus the Great, right? So what happens is the Greek city-states band together. The Ionians, who are over here, they revolt against Persian leadership in their area. And so Xerxes, how do I put this? Xerxes goes after the Greek city-states, wanting to control that area as well. However, he is not successful. Some important battles that are to note are the Battle of Marathon and the Battle of Salamis, and we'll talk about those in a second. Let me give you the overview real quick. I get ahead of myself sometimes. I'm so sorry. So the Persian War united Athens and Sparta against the Persian Empire. During this war, Athens formed the Delian League that was headquartered at Delos Island, therefore Delian League. But as the war goes on, the Delian League moves into Athens, and Athens' control of that league, of that alliance league, really sets the stage for them to become more powerful after the Persian War ends. So, as Athens expanded throughout the Mediterranean region and throughout the Aegean basin, it became apparent that it was going to come into conflict with the Persian Empire. When the Ionians revolted, Athens backed them. The Persians did not like that. Okay, that's why the Persians go after Athens and really burn it down. So the Greek cities in Asia Minor tried to revolt against Persian rule after Persia took over with the assistance of the Athenian navy. Persia retaliated and sought revenge by attacking and invading the Greek mainland. A significant land battle, and I'll have a cool little story to tell you about Marathon after this. It was a land battle that ended in Athenian victory. Okay, because the commander employed a new technique that weakened the center line and strengthened the flanks, or the sides and rear of the battle lines. When the center weakened, it put the Persian army right in the middle of the Greeks, and the Persians began to flee back to their ships. All right, it's estimated that 6,400 Persians died and only 192 Greeks perished in the battle. And if we go back to just look at the huge size of the Persian Empire really quick, we can see how this is a major feat for the Greeks, okay? This is an awesome video that shows you the battle, not the actual battle, but it's a remake. And how this technique is still used in combat today. And so now the fun story I was telling you guys about a second ago. Have any of you ever heard of a marathon? Well, a marathon is something you run, right? It's a land battle. That's how you can remember that. But a marathon is something you run, and it's 26.2 miles. All right, so Phidippides was actually the runner for Athens. All right, the runner's job was to run to places to tell alliances, so people that side together in a war, to take messages. That was the job of the runner. and to also relay messages back to city-states. So Athens was vastly outnumbered at the Battle of Marathon and desperately needed the help of Sparta's military base to help fend off attack. Time was short, so the Athenian generals sent Phidippides, a professional runner, to Sparta to ask for help. The 140-mile course was very mountainous and rugged. You know that because you've seen the picture last week on the mountainous terrain of the Balkan and Peloponnesus Peninsula. So, Phidippides ran the course in about 36 hours. Sparta agreed to help, but said it would not take the field until the moon was full due to its religious laws and the religious festival that was being taken place. This would leave Athenians alone to fight the Persian army. So Phidippides ran back to Athens, remember, another 140 miles, with the disappointing news. Immediately, the small Athenian army including Phidippides, marched to the plains of Marathon to prepare for battle. The Athenian army was outnumbered 4-1, but they launched a surprise offensive thrust, which at the time appeared to be suicidal. But by day's end, 6,400 Persian bodies lay dead on the battlefield, while only 192 Athenians had been killed. The surviving Persians fled to the sea and headed south to Athens, where they hoped to attack the city before the Greek army could reassemble there. Phidippides again called upon to run the 26.2 miles away to carry the news of the victory and the warning about the approaching Persian ships. Despite his fatigue after his recent run to Sparta and back, and having fought all morning in a heavy armor, Phidippides rose to the challenge. Pushing himself past the normal limits of human endurance, he reached Athens in perhaps 3 hours, delivered the message, Nike, Nike, meaning victory. Oh, you remember Nike means victory from the web quest last week. Sorry, guys. And then he died from exhaustion. Okay, so crazy. All right, Battle of Salamis. The Battle of Salamis was a naval battle in the Straits of Salamis. Athenian Navy lured a much larger Persian force into the Strait of Salamis, and they couldn't maneuver their ships. All right, so the Greeks attacked ferociously, sinking and destroying up to 300 Persian fleets while only losing 30 of their own. Okay? So victories at the Battle of Marathon and Salamis left the Greeks, specifically Athens, in control of the Aegean Sea because remember, they're over that Delian League. So this puts them as the de facto capital after winning the war. Okay, so the Greeks defeated the Persian Empire and preserved their political independence. And Athens continued making innovations in government and culture as a result of their victory. Stop. It's hammer time. It's the golden age of Pericles. This is what happens after the Persian Wars. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's lesson. Don't forget to put your notes, right, in your notes assignment and answer the questions for today. Bye, you guys.